Yep, so the Mixed Migration Centre is undertaking a study into climate-related events and their impact on decision-making around mobility. So what we're doing is we're looking into immobility, mobility, all the different kinds of outcomes, not just forced displacement, and how climate-related events are impacting on those. We don't have the results yet, but what I think we're going to find is that while forced displacement is of great concern, that issues around voluntary mobility and the level of forcedness is something that we want to find out more about. Also, people who are trapped, people who can't move or won't move, and what's going to happen to them as the climate impacts increase. So you have the direct impacts of climate-related events on migration, which is the forced displacement, the survival displacement. But what you also have is people who are choosing to migrate, and they choose to migrate for reasons of economic factors or perhaps because of conflict and insecurity. But if you ask behind that question whether environmental factors had an influence or were part of the reason, a lot of people will say yes. So it's kind of a stress multiplier. It adds to the reasons. No one moves for just one reason, but it adds to the reasons for movement. People are affected in different ways by climate-related events, and people, depending on their livelihood mechanisms, their social ties, where they live and how they live, will have different ideas about movement and what they want to do and what those climate impacts have in terms of influencing their thinking about migration. So it can lead to trapped populations. It can lead to people wanting to move and move very far away. It can mean very local movement or just seasonal movement. I think it's really important to understand the context and do what we're doing, which is finding out from communities how they're thinking about migration and where climate fits in there as well.